How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Ryan with us, which is a serial entrepreneur and a very successful entrepreneur with comprehensive bio. So Ryan, tell us, what are the 5 steps to make your first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Yeah, so I think this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. Number one is just start, right? You're never going to get to the finish line unless you take your first step. I think that's probably the most important. And, people get hung up on that so much where they think, well, I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't have the skill set to do that. To me, if you really believe in a dream, you will find a way. Like, the universe sort of opens that door. Now, on the other side of that door is 300 more, and then 3,000 more, and then 30,000 more.
Wow.
But until you open the first one, you're never going to know, right? So I do think that you have to be ready to go full speed, but go. Like, if that's your life's dream and that's what you think you're put on this earth to do, then absolutely go for it and never stop. Two, the second step, and I think most people skip this one, and I think it's probably the most important, is you have to change your mindset of what it takes, what you are willing to give up to reach your goal. No one on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned, has ever reached a goal without blood, sweat, and tears, right? Now, maybe there's some exceptions to the rule, but even if you look at lottery winners, some of those sorts of things, they get there too quickly, and then most of them, it just poof, it goes away, right? Yeah. So without the hardships, without the pain, without the struggle, really the goal doesn't mean much, in my opinion. So in my world, it's investing. And I talk, this is probably what I talk most about, is the mindset of an investor, changing your mindset from a consumer to an investor, entrepreneur, which means changing your headspace from what's the next car, the next watch, the next whatever it is, material thing, to trying to solve the world's problems. Right. And in this case, it's whatever that dream and goal is. And it's probably to be successful in my mind, it's solving a world's problem in whatever regard that means. And then step number 3, once you have that mindset of go, 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 and have the urgency, which if you don't have the urgency, somebody else will, is to make a plan. And I think that as you're going along, I said start, and I do mean that wholeheartedly, but as you take these steps and these doors open and there's a million more that you have to walk through, you have to develop a plan of action. And you can't be exorbitant with your expenses. You have to bring the right people on the bus, which is team building. All of these things are strategic, very strategic. And when I say go, 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 I don't mean willy-nilly. I mean with a purpose, right? And in my mind, until it's down on paper and everybody that's on the bus is paddling in the right direction, you're never going to get there, right? Somebody's going to be paddling this way, somebody's going to be paddling that way, and now you're just going around in a circle. So as you're moving forward, move forward with purpose, with a strategy, with, as you go along, you're going to learn. So constantly reevaluating that plan is so important. And then at number 4, I would say, is carry out the plan, right? So as you're developing these strategies, don't sit back on them, move on it. Find the people, find the consultants. I'll give you a little secret here. Most likely your first consultant of whatever it is probably not going to work out. So you might as well just go and, part of all of this is making decisions quickly, fail quickly, fail forward. Because as an entrepreneur, man, you better get ready. And that's the mindset thing, right? There's going to be so many failures. And you learn from them. You learn to love the struggle. If it was handed to you again on a silver platter, it's really not going to mean much. And so when you get to the finish line, whatever that day will be, probably for you and me, it'll be, you know, as we're knocking on death's door and looking back on our life, you're really going to remember those struggles and how you overcame them, or how the business overcame them, and how you sort of, you know, moved in this direction. Business is a chessboard, man. It's all about moving the pieces. It doesn't matter what happens, even if things are spiraling out of control. It's still about chess. It's not fire. Like, all entrepreneurs get addicted to putting fires out, right? That's really not what it's about. It's about moving the pieces on the chessboard, right? And until, in my mind, you figure that out, and although you're moving very purposefully in a very rapid pace in, forward, you have to keep composure. You have to keep in mind your goal, and each step, although it's quickly, is moving the next piece on the board, right?
Yeah,
moving that piece, moving that piece on the board. And when that piece gets knocked over, here's the thing. It's not like chess, and you know, and on the game board, you get to pick that piece back up and you get to keep moving it, right? It's a lot like Warren Buffett says, we're not playing baseball here. Although we're standing in the batter's box, we can stand there and take pitches all day long until we have to swing, right? We never have to swing. But you want to not let, you know, straight down the pipe fastballs get past you 14 in a row, right? You don't want to be up there just looking and just watching life go by. You want to be moving, and you want to pick the right pitch, but you also don't want to swing at the wrong one, right? And so
100%.
all of us have done it. The reason I'm sitting here today is because I've swung at that curveball that was just right out of range about 1 million times.
Yeah.
And so you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and guess what? There's not the 3-strike rule, right? We just keep getting to swing away. And that's the beauty of all of this entrepreneurship. Like, there is no box, right? We're making the box. We can make it whatever we want to make it. We can believe whatever we want to believe. The world really is our oyster. And I believe none of us, even as entrepreneurs, think big enough. I truly believe that. And number 5, I think I already alluded to, would be constant reevaluation of what's going on. You know, team exercises. All right, what went wrong? Why did it go wrong? How can we fix it? Because what tends to happen is when you have all these fires to put out, right? You realize that you're constantly putting out the same fire over and over and over, and it's just Groundhog Day, right? So until you move that piece of the checkerboard over and say, okay, wait a minute, there's an efficient way to fix this problem, right? You're never going to build your business, honestly. It's going to stay stagnant because you are putting out all the fires, and now no one else knows how to put out the fires, although they probably want to help you. They have no way of knowing what it is that, you know, they don't know the direction to row. And so as a leader, as an entrepreneur, and the captain of the ship, that's probably one of the most important things I can get across to the audience today is, as a leader, it's your job to set the direction of the rowing, right?
Yeah.
And if somebody's not rowing in the same direction, there's either one of two problems. A, they don't know how to row in the direction that you want, or B, it's just never going to happen, right? So that goes back to the right seats on the bus. You know, unfortunately or fortunately, sometimes people get to move on to bigger and better, you know, opportunities. And so that in a well-oiled team, well-oiled machine, and that's really what I try to build in these businesses, is a machine, right? Is constantly trying to take myself out of that next process, right? Like standard operating procedures, you can call it whatever you want, the blueprints, playbooks, there's a million different names. But the idea is efficiency, right? So you're doing the same processes over and over and over and over again. Those processes after the 150th failure probably should have less failures, right?
Yeah. Ryan,
So
I love the 5 steps, yeah, and
yeah,
I want to I always share with our audience, right, that being an entrepreneur is not a talent base. I have a cousin that he's a painter, right? So he
yep,
has certain talent, so he paint these pieces and he sell for a lot of money. But us being entrepreneur is not anything special about Ryan and Harry. The only thing special about us, I always said that to be an entrepreneur is develop the skill. The more you practice, the better you become. It's like driving a car or swimming, right? Even if I give
yep,
you a book how to drive a car or a book how to swim, until you don't jump into the water, until you don't practice, you were talking about failing as fast as you can and learn about that. And what is happening behind the curtain is you're actually developing the skill of the entrepreneur, right? I think those failures
absolutely.
come on purpose on your way to see if you can handle it, to see if you have what it takes to develop that skill. But guess what, Ryan? Once you develop this skill and you practice, um, you can get to the holy grail, which is exactly what you just shared with us, which is you become yourself obsolete in your own business. You are able to remove yourself completely, and this thing continue going with his own life, which is actually beautiful and is the ultimate goal of an entrepreneur. However, Ryan, we have cases, a lot of cases with entrepreneurs out there that they make the business all about themselves. They have that ego that I'm the person who running this business. Everybody had to do what I say. And then you find that they don't ask for help. For example, you mentioned something really powerful. So you're going to find the first mentor. Probably it's not going to be the right one because you also have to develop the skill to find the right mentor, right? But in that process, um, entrepreneurs sometimes get it the other way around. They make it, well, I don't need help. I can do all by myself. And I will micromanage everybody in my company. And then they end up with a miserable life. And they cannot they cannot make obsolete themselves never because the business won't operate without them. So what
Yep.
message do you have for these entrepreneurs, Ryan, that have this mindset, something that you clearly spoke? Yeah. What message do you have for these entrepreneurs that is making the business with the wrong purpose in the first place? Because I think the whole purpose to create the business in the first place is to create this leadership culture where you can actually remove yourself and that thing can operate by itself. But then you have lots of entrepreneurs that are going with the different mindset to the business and then they're literally suffering. What message do you have for these people?
Yeah. So I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head here with these questions. And this is something that I talk to my teams. I talk to, other teams about constantly. What you are describing, there is nothing to sell. If you are the business, you there is no value to the business, because if you go away, the company, the business cannot function. Right? So think about it this way. The first, when I'm say making the plan, after you change the mindset and you start, your plan should consist of how to run the business and how to exit the business, right? How to make it as valuable as you possibly can. And with that, if you are the staple, the center point, the North Star of that business, where everybody goes to that person, there's nothing to sell. So you go, somebody approaches you
You
and
have
says,
a
"Hey,
job.
you have a
There is a
job."
job.
Yeah.
You
They
call it
say, "Hey,
business, but literally a job, Ryan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so someone approaches you and says, "Hey, I want to buy your business. This is great. Great cash flow. Maybe you want to go start another business. Maybe you want to sit on the beach, whatever it is." And they start looking at it. They're like, "Well, I can't run this, right? You are the only person that can run this, and so it has no value." And so, would you rather have a business that is very valuable? Or would you like to stroke your ego more, right? You can either be right or you can be rich. You
Yeah,
can't be both,
I agree
right?
with you. I
Cannot.
agree. I prefer to be rich than be the big ego guy that is the owner of everything and everybody respond to him and I'm in the middle of everywhere. It's better to be rich, Ryan, right?
Absolutely.
And sit on the beach and go to the company just because you want to, not because you have to, right?
Yep. You want
But
to
then,
have that.
Ryan, how do you learn that? How do you learn that you have to surrender your ego? Yeah, I'm telling you because it happened to me. So when
It's
I
happened to
built
me
my
too.
first business, it was all about me, Harry, and the big deal here. Everybody had to do everything. I had to do everything by myself and wearing all the hats. And after 2 years, I built my property business. We managed to sell 5 million. But after 2 years, I'm exhausted,
Yeah.
tired, and angry. I have money in the bank account, but I was miserable. Yeah, because it was all that ego. Harry is a big deal, and this is my business, and I wear all the hats, and I don't trust anybody. I was the kind of guy. Yeah, when I started my
Yeah.
business, and I think in some form we all are, but when for me it happened out of how you call it, out of
Necessity.
luck. Yeah, necessity. I couldn't operate anymore. I was tired. I was
Yeah.
waking up with the laptop on my legs, and I'm like, oh my God, I can I either start to trust people or I don't have the strength anymore. And guess
Yeah.
what?
You're going to
I
die of a heart attack.
Yeah, and then I start to hire people. Guess what happened? They all were better than me at everything. And I'm like, what? When first I hired the sales girl that was working for me, it was incredible. I'm seeing these girls. I said, how come you manage to rent this room so quickly and for so much money? When I'm doing it myself, I had to do like 20, 30, 40 viewings, and it's hard. And you guys just show up like that, and how you do that? Once I learned to surrender my ego, yeah, and to allow other people to come to the business and build that culture, that they can, like you said, procedures, ways that of the business can operate themselves. What happened to me, true story, I went one day to the office and my team told me, Harry, go home, we don't need you. I'm like, what? You don't
Yep.
need paper in the photocopy? No, Harry, we can get a one on paper in the photocopy. Go home. I'm like, I'm like, what? What
Yeah.
just happened? Did I make myself obsolete in my own business? Is this a good thing?
Yeah.
I couldn't even understand. Yeah. But
Yeah.
and then, Ryan, this is where I got the lesson. So I understand 100% what you're talking about. But I'm more interested to know, when do you have this breakthrough yourself? When you said, okay, I'm surrendering the Ryan, I'm the king of the world. I'm surrendering that persona, and I'm gonna become a real serial entrepreneur, and I'm gonna build businesses where it can be sold for a lot of money. They operate by themselves, and Ryan don't need to be around. When
Yeah.
when when you made that shift in your life, what happened?
So that sort of scenario happens in two different ways. One is exactly like you explained, with by necessity, right? Where something happens, and either you're going to have a catastrophic health event,
Yeah,
or the business is struggling to the point where you figure it out. In my situation, and probably the least path of resistance, was I got to a point where I built too many businesses, or a lot of businesses, maybe it wasn't too many, and I couldn't physically do it, right? Like
operate.
there
Yeah,
there there,
you
there
were
was just
tired. Yeah,
there was no possible way, right? Like there was literally not enough hours in the day. And so it became very easy for me because I just was incapable, right? So um, so what I always tell people, I hear that all the time. I actually got back from a conference last week where people were complaining about themselves, right? Like I can't let go. I can't let go. And my solution was really easy. It's buy more stuff, right? Like buy more businesses, because at some point you can't do it. Like it's not, and so it's also by necessity, right? But it's a different kind of necessity where, maybe things aren't so bad, but at the same time, you're like, well, like
The tires, right?
somebody's got to do it. I can't. So I'm going to hand this off to them and hope it works out. And there again, the first person's probably going to fail, right?
Absolutely.
And it may not even be their fault. It may be yours as a leader, not teaching them what to do. And so as you reiterate this plan, like out of necessity or the other kind of necessity or whatever the case may be, things tend to, as long as you keep an open mind, you don't let your ego take over, sort of the universe sort of teaches you, right? Like whether it be really easy or really hard, like the path becomes very clear.
Yeah, it depends, Ryan, how fast you're willing to drop this ego. Yeah.
Yeah.
For some people, even in this very podcast, we interviewed a guy the other day, we're doing the same story, similar story, and the guy said, Harry, that was me for 20 years. Yeah. So some people are attached to it for so long, and
Yeah.
it's painful. And, this negative emotional pain can even become physical pain. People can end up with cancer, with stress, with heart attack, you name it. So, on the other hand, Ryan, you say, okay, you know what? I have to let it go. I had to make this works, you drop this big persona, Ryan, yeah, and you become onto something bigger, which is how can I make myself obsolete in the own business that I bought or that I built, yeah, which is a contradictory thing, sounds contradictory, but this is the ultimate goal. And but sometimes we depend on the situation, depend on the businesses. And I think a good point you make, when you make yourself really busy that to the point that you cannot handle it, the whole universe, guide you in that direction, and then you surrender. But Ryan, what advice do you have to people that don't want to let go and they're suffering? And they're not talking with the family, they're not spending enough time with the wife, with the children, they have problems showing up everywhere. And exactly, they are operating this business from Monday to Sunday, and they're constantly, without them, the business don't operate. They're literally suffering, and still they're attached to this persona, to this ego. They build the business around, rather than to be the business that operate by itself. Is a business that without them, it doesn't work, and the whole thing doesn't make sense. All what it gives is a lot of work, and also they don't want to ask for help, because someone like Ryan can come and tell you, listen, it's not working, let it go, we pivot to something else. But they don't even have time to listen to you, Ryan, because they're so busy caught up in all that. So what's your view on this?
Well, I think it's really easy. The first step is to go stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself and say, I am the problem, right?
Very difficult. Very, very difficult. Take a lot of courage to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I've
done it, and it's painful, but it's reality, right?
Yeah. The second step, I think, is to also look in the mirror and say to yourself, ego is the path to stagnation, right? I think that's step number 2. And step number 3, I think, would be to realize that if say you are the business, right? If your head is down in the day-to-day business, there's nobody looking up and out for all the problems coming, all the, supply chain, when, the events happen, last couple of years, all those sorts of things. If you are here with your head up, you can see those things coming. If you're here, you cannot. And it's
100%.
catastrophic to the business. You were doing yourself a disservice by not being able to have that 30,000-foot view of, everything that's going on, because that's where the good decisions are made. It's up here. It's not down here in the day-to-day.
I agree 100%.
So clear-headedness. We talked about the strategy. There's no possible way, if you're putting paper in the printer, that you are dealing with the strategy, right? It's just not possible. Like it's just like it's contradictory to everything in the universe. So I think that's where you start, is to realize that I can either be right or I can be rich, right? It's very simple. And to know that you're probably, if you are right, your business is going to suffer. It's going to stagnate. You're not going to grow. Somebody's going to come and engulf you as a competitor. And, all this pain and worry and pressure that you're putting on yourself to work Sunday through Monday, which I do that anyway, but I don't have my head down in the businesses. I do it for a different reason, but it's just not going to work.
But you clearly, Ryan, you're passionate. You love this thing, and I'm thinking you don't need the money. You don't. So why rather than one business, you have several business. You have patent products there. You have real estate. You have investment. You have what? You don't really need the money. So why you do what you do? What keep you? What keep yourself, making yourself busy, more busy and more busy, if you don't really have to?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Well, there's a lot of things wrong with me, not just that. But and I do need the money, because I spend all my money on building businesses. Right?
All the money you make, you buy more businesses.
Right. Talk to my wife. But really and truly, the reason why I do it, it's really about one thing. It's about winning, right? It's getting down in the trenches over and over and over again, and crawling back out, and knowing that it's going to be harder the next time than it was this time. And a lot of it is also bringing yourself down from the pedestal, picking up the shovel
to the beginnings again, right?
And dig the ditch. Keep yourself very centered, and not let that ego take over. Because for me, if I did that, like if I set up on the pedestal and just kind of like looked around and said, oh, you do this, you do that, you do that, very quickly I'm going to become a person that I don't want to be.
I love it.
And so a lot of my personal team building, which that's what it is, right? The people around you that you socialize with and all those sorts of things, I purposely try to be around the people that are going to look at me and be like, hey man, you're not a good person, or you're making the wrong choices, or you can do that, but that's not the right decision.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So
like that energy, Ryan, right? You don't need this energy in your life in any form anyway.
Right. So winning is everything. Everybody does it, and they don't realize it. But for the people who get it, it's like, all right, well, we got to this point. What can we do to push? Like I said, nobody in this world thinks big enough, including myself, including all the people who we look to that are big thinkers, in my opinion.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So it's all about getting to somewhere that no one's ever been. Right.
That's why you do what you do, right?
That's why I do what I do.
I get it now. Because then, Ryan, sometimes I do workshops in London and in different countries, and I ask this question to the audience: say, how much money do you want to make a month? And the people answer me, okay, 3,000, 2,000, 5,000. I'm like, guys, I'm asking you, how much money do you want to make a month? You can tell me 1 million. There's nothing wrong. I'm just asking. So going back to the question that we don't think big enough, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Ryan, that as entrepreneurs, and you're right, 100%, everybody does it. Everybody don't think big enough because what is behind it, they don't think it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
I think that what happened, I think that when we are babies, everything is possible. Yeah. When you were
Yeah.
trying to walk, nobody told you that was not possible. You failed so many times, but somehow you managed to walk. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so when we are kids, everything is possible for us. But then what happened is during the life, I don't know, maybe you go to school and you say something and then everybody boo, you say something wrong. Now you make it mean that you're not smart. And then you become a teenager and then your best friends sleep with your girlfriend. And wow, now you make it mean that you're an idiot. And now, and things coming like this, and our circle possibility goes so small and small and small and small that now when you go and ask the people how much money you want to make a month, the people are telling you 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. I'm like, guys, what's wrong with you? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, why expand a little bit more? Because I think coming from you is really important what you have to share. What do you think that are the basis that entrepreneurs think too small? Um, and what can be done in order to open what is actually the circle of possibility, what is really, really possible.
Yeah.
Because if we are going to say, okay, Ryan bought this business, make it grow, and now this business doesn't need him anymore, some listeners, they're going to think that what we talking is not actually possible, that we're coming
Yeah.
from La La Land.
Yeah.
So then
So
what's your view on this?
yeah, man, nail on hammer on nail again. I told this story in this conference last week, so it's fresh in my mind, and I got a little emotional about it because I wanted the people in the room to know that the only person that sets up the boundaries is you, right? You think or believe that it can't be done, and so the path of the universe is going to take you to what you believe, right? It's just the way the world works. It's just the energy of that works in that way. There's a excellent book. It's called The Rise of Superman, and it talks about this fact right here. Forever people thought the 4-minute mile was never going to be able to be broken, right? Never going to be able to be broken. Well, it was broken. And guess what happened the next year?
Yeah.
Like 5, 6 people did it, right? And then it just exponentially went from there. They tell the story about Tony Hawk, and I think it was the 720, the skateboarding where they did the rotations. Nobody could do a 720. It was impossible. The 720. Tony Hawk did it. And guess what? Now, like little kids are doing it, right? Like 9-year-old kids. It truly is this sort of human, it's built into our DNA, probably for reasons of like protection, like don't go jump off a building because, there's some things in life that you just shouldn't do. So it's probably ingrained somewhere in that sort of realm. But at the same time, there again, you can believe whatever it is that you want to believe. And truly, I truly believe this, that the universe, whatever you believe, your person that, you talk to is going to direct you in that direction, right? If you think that you can't lose weight, well, the universe is going to kind of push you to sit on the couch and eat bonbons, right? Like, if you truly believe that you can get fit and in shape, and whether maybe it's have some self-confidence, maybe it's get a better job, maybe it's all these sorts of things. Yes, there is no doubt to get there, you have to suffer. Like that is part of it. That is the biggest part of it. But what you have to realize is once you get there, you're going back in the trenches and you're going either to do something, you're going to push that limit, or you're going to go do something else. But what a lot of people do, which is also built into our DNA, which I truly believe, is that once we get there, we get this ego problem again where we're sitting on the pedestal and we get complacent on our heels. And then now you've reached that goal and now you're like somewhere stuck in the middle where you're not that big shot person. And now you're depressed and, I can't do it. I can't reach these goals. And so basically the bottom line is the struggle is never going to end, right? It will never end. Once you hit that goal, it gets harder, not easier, right? To get to that next level, it's harder. The price you pay is much more. And so I have to put in the caveat of, family life, all these sorts of things. But in the end, that some of that will suffer a little bit. If we're being honest, you don't want it to suffer a lot, but at the same time, the people around you, there was a great quote that I say often: things in life are caught, they're not taught, right? People around you see what it takes to be successful, and you are driving your legacy by pushing and doing these things to reach that next level. That is probably one of the most important lessons and the most valuable things that you can teach the people around you, including your children, in my opinion. So, they see you, yes, are you going to miss some things that break your heart and like make you want to cry? Absolutely. But, when they get above the age of having that, their 20s, which the brain is not developed and they can't make rational decisions and all those things that go along with it. We've all been there. They're going to realize, yeah, this is what it takes to be successful. And I have a choice. I can be on the roller coaster or I can be on the merry-go-round. And if I choose to be on the roller coaster, hang on, hang on tight, because it's going to be a bumpy road, right? Like, if that's where we're going, let's go. And it never gets easier.
Now, Ryan, let's talk about the mindset of the investor, because I believe that, the best investors, they have been entrepreneurs first, right?
Yep.
And 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 people that we interview in this podcast, they are property investors, property entrepreneurs, yeah? So people might think, they might have the conclusion that, wow, it's actually very easy to become wealthy doing real estate. When I think,
Right.
but I think that the real estate is other business that you cannot skip. There is no there is no shortcut to what we're discussing now, which is developing the skill to become an entrepreneur. But people might have out there like the wrong impression. Say, oh, Harry interviewing 1 out of 5 and they are multi-millionaires and they are in real estate. You know what? It's gonna be easy for me to invest in real estate and become a multi-millionaire. So what's the real truth behind? Yeah, is there any shortcut, Ryan, or still is the real estate different than other business? Or
no. So real estate,
sadly, no.
Yeah, real estate is a full contact sport. Please, if you are listening to me, realize that. Now you can't, the only shortcut in reality is to join a really good seasoned team of people that know what they're doing and learn from the best, learn from the people that are doing it and that are successful and that are doing it.
That would be helpful, right?
The right way. Yeah. Become a limited partner on a deal, or, there's really two people that are the general partners, right? The sweat equity, the people who are hustling, and the money, right? Like be the sweat equity person, or put in a little bit money on the limited partner side and figure it out. Like use the resources that you have. And if I don't know of any team that I've been associated with or know of that would look down upon a limited partner who's invested money to learn, going out on their own to start their own business. I think that most people, I know I would think, good for you, right? Like, but to think that you're going to go out there, buy 100 resi properties, fix and flip them, and like everything's going to be hunky dory.
You live in
Like,
La La Land, yeah.
la la land, la la land. There's going to be
Especially, when you take a hitting property and you make a mistake, it's difficult to back up. Yeah, it's a lot of money. You see, I prefer Ryan, or why I think that you have given a great advice to our listeners. It's like, be the sweaty partner, because the sweaty partner, you know what? You're learning. You're learning. Some of the biggest mistake that people have is when people have money. When I build my business, I have zero. I have less than zero. Yeah. I
yeah.
remember a beggar asking me for money when I was starting my business. I'm thinking, I said, man, you're lucky, because at least you are in zero. I'm below.
Right. Yeah.
You should be giving money to me. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. When this beggar was asking me for money when I was building my business. And but because you don't have anything, you have to make it work.
Yep.
You cannot spend what you don't have, because you simply don't have.
Yeah.
So you have to wait until you make profits, until you increase your sales, and then you increase your sales, and now you can afford to employ one people.
All right.
That's how much you can afford. Now you are you and one people, and then after you make a little bit of money, then you bring another people, and then you expand, right? So,
Yep.
but there are, especially in the startup founders, Ryan, in technology, we see that a lot. That people go and take all the money, they remortgage the house, they take all this money to build that product, to build that amazing product that will change the world. And after they put all the money, effort, and energy to developing this product, and when they finish, now they don't have any money for marketing. They don't have any money to show this product to the client, to see what they think about the product. And now they're in trouble, and probably they were looking now for Ryan to invest money for
Right.
marketing. And Ryan's gonna say, "Well, do you want my money to go
Yeah.
and see if this thing sells?"
Right. Yeah.
How guys you end up to this point? So, what can you tell to entrepreneurs out there that they are married to the products without understanding the full nature of business? Again, ego. Oh, this is me, and I'm creating this amazing product that will change. That is amazing, and then they're so in love with the product that they forget what the market think about the product. They don't even have the energy to ask the people, listen, this is something that you will buy.
Yeah.
So what can you tell to entrepreneurs that they're married to the products?
Yeah. I mean,
With
that's a tough.
understanding the whole full equation, what is gonna take?
Yeah. I mean, that's a really tough one, because the whole spirit of an entrepreneur is never give up, right? Like, that's ingrained in our soul. But what I think the answer to that question is pretty simple. It's the minimal viable product, the MVP, where you produce iterations of that product, and it goes back to making, the plan, where you put out pieces of it. Maybe you put out, the bare bones for minimal cost, and you sort of build this sort of community of people who are testing it, breaking it, sending it back, yelling at you, telling you it doesn't work, whatever the case may be. And I think if you do that, the answer becomes very clear. The other sort of flip side of the coin is Steve Jobs, who says, you're going to like it, you just don't know that you need it, and so I'm going to build it anyway, right? And that takes gigantic amounts of I don't
Energy.
even, well, yeah, energy and gestalt, we'll put it that way. So it it truly it depends on what you're building, what the sort of it's not really brand, but sort of the philosophy that you're following, how you sort of how you view the world in that respect, how many eggs you want to put in one basket, because really solvency is the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But in
You
the
run
end,
out of money, it's gonna be difficult to bring the product to market, Ryan, right?
right. Yeah, I mean, and Steve Jobs' story, if you get down to it, there was a lot of that, right? Like there was trying to make ends meet at some points, and then at in the end, he basically said, "I know what you want, you just don't know what you want, and I'm going to build it." And he was right, right? He was just happened to be right. Um, so there there's multiple philosophies. I think that as long as the plan is there, like in the end, how are you going to? So here's the thing: if you have a product that people want so badly that they will find you, there is no problem, right? So you have to make sure that that is what you are building. There's so many people out there, and I evaluate companies constantly, that if you break it down to the bare bones, you're like, I don't even have the problem that you're trying to solve, and I'm not sure that anybody else does either. Right? So I think that you really have to get down to just the granular as granular gets, and
Mm,
make sure that in the end, your goal of solving this problem is what you're actually building, right?
mhm.
Because if you're not, if you get sucked up in this world of, like you say, la la land of, oh yeah, if we build it, they will come. Well, what are they coming for? Like, where are we going? Right? So I think it's where you start, the plan of
Mm.
where you're going, and what is that problem. Even if the person that you're marketing to doesn't even know they have the problem, you have to make sure that they actually do have the problem and you can fix it, right?
I love what you said, Ryan, because the other day in this podcast, in previous podcast, one entrepreneur asked me, to me, Harry, tell me, what are the fastest path from point A to B? And I say, well, the straight line. And he told me, no, 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 Harry, it's the path of less resistance.
Yeah,
Think about the river, yeah? And I think
yeah,
exactly what you described, like, especially for tech entrepreneurs out there, like, building this community that you can show them your product. They read this product apart. They say, it doesn't work, yelling at you. Then you send it back again. Then they try it, yeah? There will be your feedback. There will be the community that will help you to sharp this product. They will give you signs what they really want to buy, yeah?
yeah.
This is in a less resistance way to build, especially a tech company, than in the other way that you described. That yes, Steve Jobs got it right, but it's a big gamble to go blind, put all your money and effort and energy developing a product, and then after you are exhausted and you have this golden product, going you don't have even you don't have not even a community to ask them what they think about the product, so you don't even know if they need it. And then
Yeah.
often tech entrepreneurs, after they do that, they're gonna find investors. They say they complaining when nobody want to invest in my product, and and the investors just go on listen, because I've been in hundreds of these conversations. Then the investor go and see, you know what, call me your next idea.
Right.
So I'm there, dad looking at me like, Harry, what this guy is telling me, I just don't get it. I said, what he's telling you is that you're not an entrepreneur yet. You don't have this skill yet. He invests in entrepreneurs, and you are not yet. You are halfway,
Yeah.
and it's nothing about you, nothing about your product. You're amazing. Your product is amazing, but until that person don't see an entrepreneur like Ryan in front of them, that that can have this conversation and understand these dynamics, it's gonna be very difficult to find the money.
Yeah. I
Nah,
think the bottom line is you have to make sure that your whatever it is you're building is not for you, right? It's for who the
100%.
population of who you're trying to serve.
The
I think
ego
it's a
again.
yeah, I think it's really easy to get into that trap right? Like everything's a nail to a hammer. And so without, and again, it doesn't necessarily have to be the people telling you that they have a problem that you're trying to solve, but you have to know that the problem exists, and you have to also know what you're building is getting to the goal of solving the problem. And I think that anytime there's an issue in a company that's failing, I mean, the way I know this was because I've been there, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, you have to take a step back and really focus on that. And in the end, you know, in front of the mirror, it's a gut wrenching experience to say my product sucks, and it sucks because these people that I'm not. I've spent a lot of time and effort and I've gotten off track to build what I want, not what they need.
Yeah. So then, Ryan, if people are in love with our conversation, I want to name, I mean, you are a serial entrepreneur for real. I was reading your bio and I was impressed. Yeah. And at this, at this age of my life with no hair, yeah, at my age, I get very impressed very little. And I was very impressed with
Thank
your
you.
bio, from medtech to property to even pending patent products. I mean, your scope of knowledge and experience in business in general is outstanding. So if somebody want to learn more from you and they want access to uh, to what you know, or someone that have a business that want to turn around, or things like that, how people can actually find you, how the process work? Do you
Yep.
offer any support for this kind of entrepreneurs?
Oh, absolutely. So if you want to follow like kind of the teachings, I wouldn't say teaching, it's really a mindset of what we believe and the different companies and the teams we build. The Medicine and Money Show is a great place to start. I think that we take the top layer of these topics off and really sort of dig in. It's sort of centered around medical providers, but I think the topics of conversation are really interesting and valuable for anyone who is a high performer or wants to be a high performer. You can also find me on LinkedIn by my name. I go by Ryan, but my first name is Joseph, so Joseph Ryan Smolarz on LinkedIn. Great place. If you're interested in learning what we're doing in the real estate world, storepartners.com, STOR partners.com. You can click a link and even have a conversation with me and my team. We can get on and go through, different deals that have been done in the past, or if you're just looking to find, sort of a path to where's the first step? Like, what should I be learning? What should I be reading? What should I be thinking? All these sorts of questions. And on all those, most of the podcasts, there's actually a number at the bottom of the screen, and I can send it to you, Harry, where we actually have text conversations with people from all over the place. Hey, what do you think about, this? Or
Wow.
I'm interested in real estate. What do you like? What should be my first step? Or the more directed and pointed the questions are, the better responses you're going to get because we have something to go on. If I get the question of, I want to get rich tomorrow, I'm, I'm probably not going to be able to help. But if you say something like, I am interested in self-storage, which is what we do, what are the resources available? Something like that. That's easy for us to, in between, whether I'm seeing patients or operating or whatever, I can, kind of get back to you. So yeah, all those places, I'm easy to find.
Yeah, Ryan, by the way, yeah, very briefly, because we're about to finish, the real estate strategy that you guys follow, my first business was in real estate. We were renting flats and renting again by units and make that up, yeah. But I saw that you guys have the strategy in self-storage, and I think the beautiful thing about this is that you don't need to deal with a lot of operation. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The operation is really, really low. And at the end, if you pick the right deal, it's an amazing return. Yeah. So,
absolutely.
so who gave you this idea to making money, keeping it simple in real estate? When in real estate, everybody's trying to make money, and
Yeah,
everybody's going to a lot of strategies that are very complex. You need like a be mathematical engineer to see how you're gonna make the money out of this deal.
yeah,
Yes, this and that, and then you guys are doing something very simple that everybody understand. And I think that the operation side is really low
yeah.
because it's an
Concrete
storage place.
slab in a metal
I think that
box.
the return. So who
Yeah,
had this brilliant idea to go into this
yeah.
side of the real estate? Was
I'll try to
it idea?
I'll try to keep it short. I was finishing up business school and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with, on the business side of things. And I was driving to the airport because I fly to work twice a week. And the first podcast that came on said, everybody's life these days are very complex and, it makes things hard and there's so much depression, all these things in the world. And I want you to look at your keychain, and by that you can tell how complicated your life is. And I looked over at my seat, my passenger seat. I barely could see it because there were so many keys. And I said, wow, my life is super complicated. And so it had to be serendipitous or serendipity. The next podcast that came on was a guy talking about self-storage, and he said, listen, commercial real estate is super complex and difficult. It's cutthroat. Everything about real estate is that way. But let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you this fantasy land called self-storage. It's a concrete slab in a metal box. And it's as simple as it gets. You may need one employee, maybe on a Sunday, to come by and change out the locks. And I said,
good dog.
I have a complex life. I want to simplify it. And there's this thing that is, as far as it goes, as simple as it gets. I'm sold.
Amazing, very impressive, because it sounds to be good to be true, but to my knowledge, this is what it is. It's good and it's true.
Yeah, it's good and it's true.
Yeah, so I congratulations, Ryan, for we don't need to be the smartest guy in the room. We don't need to be this big developer that making high big developments, and probably if you get it wrong you lose millions in the game. You just keep it simple. At the end of the day, it's about to make money. This is how we do business.
That's right.
How to make money with as least operation as possible. And if it's possible that you can make yourself obsolete and that whole thing run without you, that's bigger. And I think that this is what I qualify as an outstanding entrepreneur. I think hat off to you.
Thank you.
Keep going. Don't get yourself too busy. You don't need to.
Right.
You love it. I know you love it. I will ask your wife what have you on that, but
right.
Absolutely. Keep it, be happy, keep it, have fun. I know you love, I can tell because your eyes are shining every time the new business come. I already see you, Brian. Wow, tell me about it, man. You have already a lot. This is who we are. This is who we are. This is what keep us happy. This is what keep us going. Never
absolutely.
And stay happy. So thank you so much. A great conversation. I know your time is very valuable. I really appreciate that you spend this time with our audience from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, Ryan. And for all our listeners, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable, how brave entrepreneurs like Ryan break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with the world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.